It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Monday, the 12th of September. I'm Michael Groff, and we've got a bit of a complicated weather forecast ahead for the next 24 hours or so. And then things are looking to dry out and quiet down and become pretty comfortable for the rest of the forecast period thereafter. Right now, partly to mostly cloudy skies across the metro area, widely scattered showers and thunderstorms in central and northern Arizona. We've even had an isolated storm or two in the valley. Right now, a warm start to the day, though, 84 degrees. Look at that, dew point at 57, so marginal monsoon moisture out there. Relative humidity 40%. The winds are light, and the barometer is rising. Satellite picture shows you we have a little area of forest ascent over central and northern Arizona, creating some clouds and widely scattered thunderstorms. See that on radar. Most of the activity over northern Pinal County through Gila up into Navajo and Apache counties this morning. But again, an isolated storm or two around the valley, as you see here on the closer look. The watch warning map. Unfortunately, we have wind advisories and a high fire danger, and that goes hand in hand, sadly, across much of the Intermountain West and the Great Basin. Good news is we have some winter weather advisories up there in Montana with a couple inches of snow possible once again today. Any action that can help to alleviate the incredible fire danger and dry conditions that we've had much of the West this summer. Quiet on the rest of the map, though. That may not last too long. The convective outlook for today, we've got a marginal risk of severe weather extending from the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles all the way up toward the Twin Cities. Slight risk of severe weather from about Lincoln, Nebraska, over toward Omaha and Council Bluffs, Iowa. Tomorrow, day 2, no significant areas of severe weather expected and nothing at all, no thunderstorms whatsoever in Arizona. I'm not sure if that's quite true. So we'll show you here on the models in just a moment. Right now, across the southwest, some interesting things at play here. We've got a deepening trough, an area of low pressure over the Pacific Northwest extending through Nevada and points southward. And we've got some stronger upper-level winds that are causing some forced ascent across portions of Arizona this morning as well. And that is why we've seen some isolated showers and storms. As we get into the model runs here, this is the 06Z GFS, valid at 11 a.m. this morning. I'll show you some of the instability parameters that we're dealing with today. Here's the Cape, and 500 to 750 joules or so over southern Arizona. Same situation of what we've been dealing with the last few days. Also some lift going on in the atmosphere, values -1, -2 or so. Nothing overly impressive that you're seeing here, but this is enough combined with the moisture that we have. Look at these PWatt values, 1 to 1.3 inches. All of this is just enough to squeeze out a shower or thunderstorm over the deserts throughout the morning and into the early afternoon hours. By 5 p.m. today, the moisture does start to thin out just a little bit. Not quite as drastic, though, as we've seen on previous forecasts. So we'll hold on to about a 20% chance of showers or thunderstorms through the day and the afternoon hours. By 11 p.m. tonight, you see that moisture is starting to thin out. Again, not as dramatically, but slowly as those westerly winds aloft work their way through and the dry air starts to come on in. We will see conditions dry out, and the rain chances by this evening certainly will have ended. QPF numbers for today, you see that we're at 0, but that's not entirely accurate. Any place could see an isolated shower or thunderstorm, and if you get under one of those, you might see a few hundredths of an inch all the way up to a quarter inch of rain. But by and large, we will be dry today. Bit of an interesting forecast ahead for Tuesday, and we have some good dynamics in the atmosphere. 0 to 6K shear, 20 to 30 knots. We'll have some strong upper-level winds as well in association with this trough moving on through. And ordinarily, I would say that's kind of a good setup for some showers and thunderstorms across the state. The problem will be we won't have much moisture left. The westerly winds will have scoured a lot of it out of here. Maybe some lingering moisture across far northern and eastern Arizona for a few showers and thunderstorms there. We will remain dry. And temperatures tomorrow, probably not reaching 100 degrees anywhere in the state with the cooler air finally mixing in. The dry air is really going to help cool us off Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. When you wake up, lows could be in the lower 60s away from the urban core to about the lower 70s at Sky Harbor. That's going to feel great with that dry air. Wednesday, probably highs lower to mid-90s. Thursday, same thing. We have a trough of low pressure and surface low moving out into the plains. And there's some rain that's back toward eastern New Mexico and Colorado, but will stay dry. Heavy rains move up into portions of North Dakota and Minnesota. Plenty of action for the Central Plains, but again, dry for us because dry northwesterly flow will prevail. By Saturday, mark this day on your calendar because it's the last day that the normal high in Phoenix stays at 100 degrees. Thereafter, we dip below and stay there until next May. It's not a magical line in the sand. It's just one of those fun milestones and a sign that cooler weather is coming up for the valley. So we're looking forward to that. And speaking of cooler weather, this scenario has been portrayed on the GFS for the last several days. Closed low of some kind forming over the greater Southwest over the weekend, this time over western Arizona or southeast California. And if this were to verify, probably highs around 90 to the lower 90s here in the Phoenix area. I know the GFS has been showing us below 90, about 88, 87, something like that. I don't think we get that cool. Maybe a little bit of moisture starts to get drawn into far eastern Arizona Saturday or Sunday, but we will be on the dry side. Look at these PWatt values Saturday. I mean, values, I don't know, they're quite going to be that low, but still, the idea is dry air. Dew points will be very low in the 20s or 30s. And then on Sunday, we should remain pretty dry in this pattern, so nothing really to talk about. Any QPF numbers are concentrated over eastern Arizona into New Mexico and maybe toward the White Mountains, Mogollon Rim area. All right, by Monday, the 19th, little closed low off the Southern California coast, general troughing over the Southwest. Ho-hum, nothing to talk about here. Tuesday, the 20th of September, nothing to talk about either, as we'll just have more troughing. And even though the tropics in the eastern Pacific will start to get pretty active, with drier west to northwesterly flow aloft, that's going to keep all of that moisture well to our south. Here's the end of the forecast period. This is Wednesday, the 21st of September, and general troughing continues over the Southwest. Look at that low up there over the Gulf of Alaska. That is some signs of much cooler weather that may eventually be headed toward the southeast, may bring the first real blast of fall to the nation. As we go out into the land of make-believe here, here's Thursday the 22nd. Again, a closed low off the Southern California coast. This is actually pretty believable because we've had this all month long, troughing toward the central nation here, central plain states. And for us, we'll stay dry. High pressure might actually start to try and build in here. Now you see the first real blast of fall coming as we go toward the end of next week. That might start to make it down into the upper plain states, Minnesota, North Dakota, and eventually maybe even to the deep south by the end of the period, because here we go. This is 2 weeks from tomorrow. This is the 27th of September. High pressure over the Southwest. You see a tropical feature out in the Pacific, but that'll be held at bay. Nothing to concern yourself with here. And if this verifies, that would be a good push of Canadian air all the way south into the Tennessee Valley and maybe even into the deep south. Who knows? QPF numbers, I'm going to just show you this. This is the total precipitation forecast for the entire forecast period. So for the next 16 days, you see how we have basically zero here. That means we're just going to be quiet. Not much to talk about precipitation-wise. Anything is well to our east or well to our north, and nothing around here. All right, looking at temperatures for the next couple of weeks. You know, if some of this verifies, I mean, I would love to see highs get down into the upper 80s, but I just don't know. That's a bit optimistic for me. I am not sure if we'll stay under 100 the entire period, but you know, historically, we're starting to get toward the point of the year here, especially by about middle or latter portion of next week, where high temperatures get below 100 and stay below 100 all the way until next spring. So maybe that's what will happen. And lows will be downright pleasant. Even in the urban core, you see we're generally in the 60s or lower 70s. That's perfect, as away from there, we'll be way down in the 60s. So temperatures overnight, even in the evening hours, are going to be really nice. All right, thank you for joining me again today for another edition of the Phoenix, Arizona Weather Discussion. Our next video posted tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.